For thousands of years, the story of humanity has been the story of empires. Great civilizations have risen from humble beginnings, expanding their power across continents and shaping history. These empires built cities, created trade networks, spread cultures, and changed the lives of millions of people. But no empire lasts forever. Powerful nations grew rapidly, dominated the world, and then slowly faded away. Some fell through war and invasion. Others collapsed because of internal conflicts, economic struggles, or political instability. Yet even after they disappear, their influence remains. Borders, languages, religions, and traditions still carry their legacy. In this journey, we will watch over 1,000 years of changing power, using maps to reveal how the world transformed. From medieval kingdoms to vast colonial empires and global superpowers. This is the rise and fall of empires. In the year 1000 AD, the world looked very different. It was dominated by powerful regional empires and kingdoms. In Europe, political power was fragmented. The Holy Roman Empire controlled much of Central Europe. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Empire carried on the legacy of ancient Rome. Constantinople was a rich and powerful city. To the south and east, Islamic civilizations flourished. The Abbasid Caliphate's power had begun to decline. However, new powers like the Fatimid Caliphate were rising across North Africa and the Mediterranean. Far to the east, China experienced an advanced period under the Song dynasty, leading the world in innovation. Paper money, gunpowder weapons, advanced navigation, and printing technology all emerged during this era. Despite these civilizations, global connections were limited. But soon, a new empire would change that forever. In the early 1200s, a new force emerged from the steppes of Central Asia. Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes. What followed was one of the most dramatic expansions in world history. Mongol armies swept across Asia. They conquered northern China, Central Asia, Persia, and eventually pushed deep into Eastern Europe. The Mongols were masters of mobility and strategy. Their armies moved faster than any other military force. Cities that resisted them were often destroyed, while those that surrendered were allowed to survive. By the late 13th century, the Mongol Empire had become the largest land empire in human history. But the Mongols did more than conquer territory. They also created a network of trade routes connecting east and west. Under Mongol rule, the famous Silk Road flourished. Merchants, travelers, and explorers moved across continents. For the first time, civilizations of Europe, the Middle East, and East Asia were deeply connected. Yet even the largest empire cannot survive forever. After its great rulers, the Mongol Empire slowly fragmented. By the 14th century, its power had begun to fade, but new empires were already rising. Following the decline of the Mongol Empire, several powerful states emerged across different regions. One of the most influential was the Ottoman Empire. It expanded rapidly across Anatolia and Southeast Europe. In 1453, the Ottomans captured Constantinople, ending the Byzantine Empire. It became Istanbul, their new capital. For centuries, the Ottoman Empire controlled vast territories across Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. Meanwhile, in China, the Ming dynasty restored Chinese rule after the Mongol-led Yuan dynasty's collapse. The Ming era was known for cultural achievements and impressive architecture, including the Great Wall's expansion. In South Asia, the Mughal Empire emerged as one of the wealthiest, building magnificent cities and monuments. At the same time, European nations began exploring the oceans. Portuguese and Spanish empires connected continents. These explorations marked the beginning of a new global era, forever changing the world's interconnectedness. Between the 16th and 19th centuries, European powers established colonies across the world. Spain controlled vast territories across the Americas. Portugal built a network of trading posts globally. But the largest empire in history would eventually belong to Britain, stretching across every continent. At its height, the British Empire governed nearly 1/4 of the world's population. This led to the famous phrase, "the empire on which the sun never sets." Meanwhile, other major powers also expanded. France controlled parts of Africa and Southeast Asia. The Russian Empire expanded across Siberia and into Central Asia. China's Qing dynasty ruled a vast population. But global rivalries between these powers were growing increasingly dangerous. Industrialization transformed warfare. Nations now had powerful weapons, large armies, and global ambitions. The stage was set for devastating conflict. In 1914, Europe erupted into World War I. The conflict quickly spread across the globe. When the war ended in 1918, several major empires had collapsed. The Ottoman Empire disappeared. The Austro-Hungarian Empire broke apart into multiple new countries. The German Empire lost its territories. Just 2 decades later, the world plunged into an even larger war. World War II reshaped the global map. After 1945, the era of traditional empires began to fade. Colonies demanded independence. Over the next few decades, dozens of new nations emerged as European empires dissolved. The world was entering a new era. After World War II, the balance of global power shifted dramatically. 2 nations emerged as dominant superpowers: the United States and the Soviet Union. Their rivalry became known as the Cold War. Countries aligned themselves with one of the 2 ideological camps: capitalism versus communism. Although the superpowers avoided direct war, conflicts erupted across many regions of the world. Finally, in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. The Cold War ended, leaving the United States dominant. But history was far from over. The world continued to evolve, with new challenges and opportunities. Today, the world is no longer ruled by traditional empires. Global power is shared among influential nations. The United States remains a major military and economic power, but new giants have emerged. China has become one of the world's largest economies. India is rapidly growing into a global force. Meanwhile, international alliances like the European Union represent new forms of cooperation between nations. Technology, trade, and diplomacy now shape global power more than territorial conquest. Yet the legacy of ancient empires is still visible everywhere. Every border on the map tells a story of conquest, ambition, and change. For over 1,000 years, empires have shaped humanity's destiny. They rose from small beginnings, ruled vast territories, and eventually disappeared, but their influence continues. History never truly ends, it simply evolves. Subscribe to Ancient Realities for more history timelines.